What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Snapchat. And Doom 2099 is probably the most hyped card this month. It comes out tomorrow, and Alex and I are going to break down the synergies with the card, our thoughts on will it become a new archetype. There's a lot to break down, as well as just a lot to talk about in this Snapchat. We have a leaked season in February with Sam Wilson, Captain America, and a ton of cards that bring some crazy mechanics and the first of equipment coming to Marvel Snap. And then we end on the second OTA Supersized Edition, and there's a lot of new cards to break down. So we're going to talk about that all today and more on this episode of the Snapchat. And as always, I am joined by the one and only Mr. Alex Coccia. Hello, buddy. Hello, my friend. We've got ourselves halfway through December and on to another week of Marvel Snap and the Rivals collaboration. And this week, we get Doom 2099. So definitely going to be probably the most hyped card. Like, I think people are most excited for this card. Will it live up to the hype? That's going to be our main discussion today. But before we get to that, buddy, how we doing?
Buddy, I'm doing great. It's been a wild couple weeks here. Been playing a lot of video games, Marvel Snap, Marvel Rivals, spending time with the family during the Christmas season. I feel like I got a work party every weekend for my wife and for myself and for all these things. It's the season, right? And you know what? It's fun. I really like this season a lot. It's an opportunity to get together with a lot of people, and I don't know. I don't want to lose sight of that either, right? As much as I want to be ripping games, it's also nice to meet up with some friends, enjoy some downtime, and I'm just starting to appreciate that a little bit more than usual. You know what I mean? Because I think it rejuvenates you a little bit this time of the year.
Yeah, I swear. Like, if I were to rank all the months, like July and December are both very high. October high on the list, and of course, like, Rivals hit now. Like, December, I love it, bro. I love, holiday movies. Love just going to, like, lights with, my kid. I mean, just basking in the winter glory. Like, and then you got the dead months. It's like, of course, Rivals launched in December, and it's just a busy time all around over here in the Cozy fam. But I feel that, man. I do love living up. Have you familiarized yourself a bit more on holiday songs this time around?
Here's a funny thing. I'm glad you brought that up. So we've been driving, and so there's this big thing with my family. Obviously, there's 4 kids, my wife and myself in the car. So my kids, we have a rule where they all want to listen to music and they all want to pick the next song. And we have a rule is whoever's in their seat first gets to pick the song first. It's one of our strategies to get them in the car, right? Yeah. So anyways, what we've been doing is lately during December, we've been playing Christmas music. And so I subscribe to YouTube Premium, so I've been finding like these playlists and stuff like that. And I'll tell you right off the top, I'm like, you know what? Cozy roasted me for like not knowing music at all last year. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to legit give it a shot. So we've been listening to a lot of Christmas music in the car. I will tell you, the old classic stuff is by far and above the best compared to the new modern stuff.
That's all I listen to. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are listening to modern day Christmas music. Pop it down below, because I don't even know where to start, man. I love going to just the oldies, man. That's where I feel home and classic and in the holiday mood, not, Ariana Grande singing whatever, Mistletoe.
Oh, that awful. Oh, it's so awful. One thing I will say, though, the only modern one that I think actually kind of bangs, for some reason, it's the Michael Bublé stuff, because I think he has the perfect voice for it. Everyone else, I feel like, is kind of faking it a bit.
Yeah, he brings back the old vibe a little bit. Every time I hear the Christmas song, the chestnuts roasting on an open fire, I always think of you. Like, no matter where I'm at, I think of Alex.
I think of you too, actually. That's so funny. Like, we have like this like this link, because like I swear to you, we were driving and that song came on, and I thought of you specifically. I
told my wife we were driving and it came on too, and I was like, dude, Alex didn't know the song. I can't get over that. Like, I can't unthink that. But anyway, man, yeah, we're gonna have to maybe next week or week after do another holiday song tier list, or at least talk about them a little bit. As we head closer and closer to Christmas. What have you asked for Christmas this year, Alex from Santi?
Okay, do you actually want to know what I really asked for?
Yes.
Okay, so I asked my wife for a new wallet, because my wallet that I currently have is from when I was in high school.
Oh my God.
And it's like a Costanza wallet, man. I stuff everything in it. It's like super just fat. It's like a thick wallet. I also asked for bigger underwear, because I've gained weight and my underwear is too tight.
Wonderful.
And I've also asked for new undershirts, because also my undershirts are too tight.
Great visuals. I'm really enjoying the visuals over here. I appreciate that. I hope you guys are too in this special edition of the Snapchat. I have not asked for much. I don't know. Not like, oh, I don't need more of like, I can't think of anything. For me, I like Etsy stuff a lot because it's like custom. Like, so I got this sick. I should go bring it maybe later. at the end of the Snapchat, I'll bring it up. It's like this, it's like the old school Pokemon sprites from Red and Blue, and they're all in this frame. You guys will have to see it. Like that kind of stuff, like nerdism, that's right up my alley. And more bright hoodies that blind people, if you look at them long enough. That's my goal. And less green on hoodies, man. I have so many green stuff, but I can't use it with green screen. So that's up there too. Anyway, guys, we digress a little bit. We've got loads to talk about on this side with the OTA, a leaked season with the new patch, and June 2099. What do we talk about on your side of the Snapchat?
Cozy, on my side of the Snapchat, we're going to be discussing Peni Parker in review, giving you our thoughts on the latest card in Marvel Snap. Also, we talked about the cards that suck in Marvel Snap. We just had a recent OTA, and some cards, for some reason, keep dodging the love from Glenn and the team. We'd like to discuss those. And then finally, as always, our Snapchat mailbag.
Well, man, let's get right to it. The hype card of the month, Doom 2099, which is such an iconic character in Rivals. He's the main villain pulling the strings alongside Doom himself and within Snap. He is a 4-cost 2-power card. After each turn, add a Doom bot, 2099, to a random location. If you played exactly one card in the Doom bots, they're going to be a 4/2 that give +1 to other Dooms and Doom bots that are out on locations, Alex. And so somewhat straightforward card to not only rank but also talk about, and I think there's some pros, some cons, and some synergy there as well. Let's start off with the ranking, buddy. What do you think?
Okay, so when we did our preview, I came in at 5 stars, and it was one of those things where, like, let me be very clear, because I think that, like, the context was missing there, because also I just yelled 5 stars, super hyped up and everything. I'm 5 stars excited for this card, because I think that it's a new way to play the game. Whether or not it's going to be a 5-star card in terms of its actual impact remains to be seen. I still think it's going to be good. I'm going to stay with my 5, honestly. I'm not trying to talk myself or walk out of what I said, but I'm just going to say that, like, for me, this is like the card that I was like, yes, this is the one I want. This is the one that I want this month. It was the one I was most excited for. But there is I'd say there's a very real chance it does not hit the 5-star, like, Surtur, like, power level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think this is definitely one of those cards I'm excited for in, like, March, because people aren't expecting it then, right? Like, week 1, this is going to be, people are going to try to, they're going to know the math, right? Like, listen, it's in most games at 4/17, which is awesome, right? As far as if you just play everything on curve. If you get this out on turn 3, I think it goes up to a 26, which is killer. And then, you know, you're able to play something on 5, get the Blue Marvel out there, and then maybe, you know, even Dr. Doom. With Doom, it's like, I think, what, 35 power, which is crazy. Like, absolutely crazy. You're neither there. The math's wrong. Either way. So to me, it's very predictable. And so in the first week, it's not going to be as, whoa. But when you're going up against it, right? Like, whenever you go up against something like Cerebro, which we're going to talk about, and you're, like, not ready for it, you're like, oh, man, like, I have nothing against this. I lose. Like, back in the Storm Cerebro day, the Storm and Cerebro days, I used to feel that. And I feel like that could be the case with Doom. Like, if you go up against this, you know what they're going to do, but you're like, I can't compete with the power they're about to put out. But I think that happens later. So I would say, yeah, like 3.5, I think is what I came in at. I think that's probably where I'm going to stick at. I think it's not a novelty, but I think Patriot Ultron does a lot of the same and some better in a lot of cases too, depending on how you play first turns. And so for me, it's like definitely far from a necessity card, and more of a great archetype and a fun thing to do. And listen, again, that's why I play in Snap right now. Ton of fun. And so fun factor, excitement factor, you know, I would agree with you, man. 5 stars here as far as playing it.
Buddy, I'm actually kind of glad you said that, because the love for Snap, like the actual fun gameplay, is what keeps me going right now. Like that, despite like all the kind of, you know, the issues we've been facing and like everything that, all the negativity that's surrounding the game right now in the larger community, it's just so fun to play. It's just fun to play, and that's kind of what keeps me coming back to it. So that's partially why I'm so excited, because I want to give this a shot. And you are right. You know, that first week is going to be a little rough. They did buff Enchantress, which, remember, is a great catch-all for Doom 2099, because it'll nullify all of the Doom bots in a location, right? Whereas something like a Rogue would not have had that impact. Super Scroll would not have been the one you wanted. Just that blanket effect of Enchantress is very significant with this deck coming out, and actually reminded me of the fact that, like, and I don't want to jump into the OTA stuff, but them buffing Enchantress gave me confidence that I think this card's good. I feel like they buffed the Enchantress because they're like, let's not nerf Doom 2099, let's buff the counter. Because I think Enchantress is a very natural counter for it. And if they thought that the deck wasn't strong enough and Enchantress was a nice catch-all as it was, they wouldn't have had to buff it. And I don't think it's circumstantial that Enchantress got buffed prior to 2099 coming out.
I love that we shouted it out a couple Snapchats ago. Like, hey, you know, I think Enchantress can go back. And surely enough, there she is. She's back. And I think Ongoing has needed that for a little bit, like something against them a bit more. We have so many tools against On Reveal, and so now having a little more firepower against that will be nice. Again, synergy, pretty straightforward, but there's still plenty of it. By the way, Meek, Dawkin, dumpster fire of a Spotlight. Don't really need to go into that too much. Don't do it. But I mean, if you got tokens, buy them straight out. If you want to, you know, go to Vegas and roll your chances, go for it. But it is nothing but strict disappointment. You know, pass go, don't collect $200 straight to jail. Synergy. I mean, obviously, I think we can start with Blue Marvel. Clear just like 4 to 5 to 6. I think the line a lot of people are going to look for is the Doom to Blue Marvel to Doctor Doom. That's going to be the, you know, nice finisher combo for plenty. But there's a lot more there. I mean, we talked about playing the card early, so naturally the Zabu, the Psylocke, and whatnot, and all the new energy cheats that we have. But Alex, what about you, man? What's some of the synergies you're looking at that are less obvious?
Okay, so one of them that I've been trying to figure out, right? Because we have Penny Parker, and I'm trying to figure, okay, like, what if we can do some Agony Ramp, or what if we can do some creative stuff? And I'm trying to think about, like, what those closing lines look like that can maybe catch opponents by surprise with this card. And obviously, there's the, like, the Doom 2099 turn 4, Wong turn 5, Doom turn 6, throw bots everywhere, right? That's the very clean, obvious line.
Yep.
Has to be said. You know, it's actually still a good line, but that is the very obvious one. I've been trying to think about how I can utilize Onslaught, because I was kind of thinking about this deck, and I was thinking, you know what, it actually feels like an alternate playstyle of Tribunal in some ways. If you think about how Tribunals played with a very wide power gamut. Like, it's just you're going very wide across the board, and they kind of know what's happening. You know what I mean? Like, when you're playing Tribunal, you know, if Tribunal comes down, you're like, bro, I did not see that coming. It's like, you're not paying attention. You know what I mean? So, like, I feel this deck plays very similarly. And so as a result, I've been trying to figure out, like, okay, how do I energy ramp into Doom 2099 on 4, and then potentially can I sneak out an Onslaught early and then play my Dr. Doom if we don't use the Wong at all? So I'm still trying to figure out those lines with all the energy ramp we have. You got one? You got an answer?
Yeah,
Let's hear it.
Instead of Tribunal, I didn't go that way, but I get it. For me, I was like, same thing. I was like, how do I get Onslaught? How do I get where it feels okay? And this might be one of those cards I don't hate playing. Now, hear me out. But playing alongside, or playing on 4, even if you Electro. So the goal is, right, is a Spectrum style. That's the way I went in my head. And I'm like, okay, if I play Electro on turn 3, we got the Ongoing. He's a 3/3, not bad. You can then play the Doom, right, which is okay. Whatever, play that down. You then have 2 turns to play 1 card at a time. And in my head, I'm like, okay, both those are 6s now that you could play down. And so you are going to be able to play the Onslaught, which is awesome. And then you can also play just the Spectrum. So both are letting, you know, more come down to the field. And then you could also just Spectrum blast all of them. And then there's some like synergies within there. Like if you don't get those play lines, I think Omega Red is really cool here because you're able to spread so much wide power, which is really interesting on the way that you kind of work it. And Spectrum in general, to me, just seems like a very safe place that isn't the one-trick pony that this card is kind of being, you know, corner pushed to be. And I think it's very interesting.
It is very interesting because like that extra 2 power across the board on those Doom bots is not insignificant. Now, the actual text of the Doom 2099 bots themselves might make it so I think one bot will kind of pop up at the end, right? After each turn. So you do miss one 2 power hit tick with the Spectrum, but it's still, again, like how many games are won just on secondary lines? Like I joke about the Phoenix Force deck all the time where like I win more games without Phoenix Force than I do with it in a Phoenix Force deck because I'm able to use the Nimrod bylines, right? So I definitely do like the shout out.
Even if you just Onslaught into Doom as well. So like, again, nothing, if it doesn't work out and you're able to play Doom in that build too, it's like, okay, then you could get the Onslaught down early and then you also have the Doom to do his thing. And I'm telling you, with the Onslaught on top of those Doom bots giving now the double effect on that, I mean, that's huge. That's a huge push up to the rest of your cards that might even be the optimal play line over the Spectrum to finish.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to occupy less space as well,
Yeah.
because junk is still part of the meta. And I suspect that, like, a lot of people are thinking about Enchantress as a primary counter here. Junk's going to destroy the first week too, because anything that occupies more space on the board will restrict the amount of space that the Doom 2099s have to work with. And so as a result, the Spectrum line would potentially be more impactful with Onslaught than something like a Doctor Doom on Wong, which is going to require more space, obviously.
The other thing I like too, bro, is I love the idea of just playing Super Scroll and Doctor Doom decks. Like, just if you're not going to buy this card, get Super Scroll, get Doom, and then you can just steal all their hard work, and then you throw down a Doom on your own, and you get a huge power buff. Like, to me, that's hilarious.
Okay, so I hadn't thought of that. So you're saying just play Spoiler, play Super Scroll with Doctor Doom, and just laugh yourself to the bank?
Yeah. So you probably will still. I don't know. The power that you'll have to beat is gonna be tougher. But I just think it's an amazing counter without getting the card. You just go Super Scroll and Doom, and you get to reap a lot of the benefit.
Yeah, I never really thought about Super Scroll. Could it actually be viable in these decks considering the mirror matches? It's
Probably.
It's happened before.
Like the Blue Marvel Steel, 100%. Super Scroll was happening. I think it's interesting. Like, I feel like that. What would be your 5 though? Like, you'd want to play something that can go, pretty over the top there. I mean, I guess at that point, you could just onslaught your own Super Scroll. Like, so then you just take the double of what they have. To me, it's just the troll play. But I also think there's some synergy there.
No, it's definitely possible. Now, one thing that's worth mentioning, we kind of brushed over quickly. We have to really pay we have to give the credit where it's due for Psylocke and Zabu being huge here, because I think the numbers on this thing coming out on turn 3 drastically change.
Yeah.
If you're able to Zabu, I think Psylocke's probably going to be the preferred, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
More than likely, because this is one of those 4 drops that if you draw it later on, it's not like a Crossbones or something. I mean, yeah, Crossbones is not even a good example, but it's not like if you gets hit with Zabu and you draw into it, it feels worse.
Yeah.
You kind of want to be able to play it on turn 3 or 4. So I do think Psylocke's probably going to be preferred. Getting it out very early just makes everything flow so much easier and just lets the kind of the train start going there. And I also thought about Galacta too, but I'm not sure, because if you can get this out and then play Galacta, and then suddenly you're just using that value, that +3 from Galacta, while also creating additional Doom bots. The Doom bots ignore Galacta, but you're going to be playing 1 card per turn anyway, and those cards just naturally get +3 power. That's not insignificant either, and it technically works on curve if you're able to Zabu or Psylocke Doom 2099 out.
Yeah, another 4 in the deck just to kind of reap the benefit, and it's obviously really good getting on 3 as well. And then you can kind of have 2 cards that can pop off there. I like that. I do.
Yeah.
Early turns is some of the stuff I looked at, because obviously late turns, you're more pigeonholed. You can only do, the one thing. Looking into it, obviously, for me, I feel like Captain America, super cool potential there, because you have a bunch of ongoing spreading. He only gives his massive power boost to ongoing cards. And, I think when I don't want to brush by all the Spectrum deck, because I think there's plenty of cool stuff you can do, even stuff like locking down with Goose. And then it's tough for them to get in that location. Then you're able to, reap the benefits there. Obviously, we just talked about Wong. What do you think about, I think we talked about this on the week of revealing the cards. What do you think about Gilgamesh here, right? You got all these plus power floating around. To me, I don't know if he kind of works with the build you're going to try to do, because this is such a wide deck over a tall deck, but it's not bad.
And you know what though? Here's the thing though, Zoo decks, like, this is kind of similar to what a Zoo deck is. And the major challenge the Zoo decks had was that they never went vertical enough. They went horizontal enough, but never quite vertical enough to counter everything else that was happening. And the nice thing about Gilgamesh is he wins a lane very confidently. And generally speaking, with Zoo decks, you're going to win one of the other 2. Whereas your opponent probably can't trade with Gilgamesh, and they probably can't trade with both of your others. And that's where Zoo works so effectively. It's just the challenge here is, like, you kind of run out of turns, right? To want to play that Gilgamesh. It could be an additional line. Like, your top end could be Gilgamesh, Doom, and Onslaught. Like that, honestly, those 3 cards as your finishers, all 3 of them are good choices, like in their own respective ways, you know what I mean? So, like, that's entirely possible. The only challenge I kind of see is that you don't control at the end of the turn where that extra Doom bot flies, and that could be potentially problematic. But, I mean, you kind of can by filling locations and stuff, but... yeah, I don't mind it. I think that Gilgamesh is a good call, because everything's going to be boosted pretty much, right?
Yeah.
I actually like it. I don't think it's a bad call at all.
Yeah, so for me, those are the main ones I thought about. I think Sandman, obviously, like how do you not bring up Sandman just because it's just another one that if you don't get the Marvel, or the Blue Marvel to buff up, it's like, okay, you might as well just disrupt them massively because you can only do, the one play anyway, and you're gonna be looking to play Doom most of the time. So I think Sandman is gonna obviously snuggle in here nice and cozy.
Yeah, it's entirely possible as well because you'll be able to have that. If you're ramping them out as well, you'll have that extra energy that offsets the effect of the Sandman regardless. But one thing I will say as well, there's two other cards I think that are worth mentioning here. Magic, I think, is worth mentioning because of the extension of the game. So if you don't happen to get your Psylocke or Zabu ramp, you're holding the Doombot 2099 in your hand, you can Magic on turn 3, play the Doombot on turn 4, and have that extra turn to generate the value. So it's kind of like backwards design. You didn't ramp it out early, but you have it a little later to get the kind of similar effect. And I guess the other thing worth mentioning is I was trying to figure out lines of like if Frigga could work because Frigga got buffed. And I was thinking, okay, wait a minute. Like if you Psylocke the card out on turn 3, then you Frigga on turn 4, you play another Doom 2099 on turn 5, and then you have two, and now two are being generated. No, because the original one would generate one, and then the second one would generate one.
Yeah. And
then you can do your Spectrum line or something cool. So I think that's a potential line as well.
Yeah, it's a crack card on cloning bats. There's a couple cards that just do so well. This is. I mean, it's probably too much flooding at that point. Like you'd be really maxing out pretty early, but I like it. I mean, it's a lot of power. It's a lot of power to be putting out there. So, and anything with Frigga, man, I'm down. But yeah, man. So again, simplicity at its finest, but sometimes it's really nice. It's gonna be fun just to go in, play simple games, have a good time with it, and kind of see where it goes from there. You could also play Patriot. I think it's interesting that you could kind of flex this. I know that they're not going to work with Patriots itself, but a lot of the cards that you could play around it do, and so that's just kind of a nice either or thing you could go with. And then clearly, obviously just getting Doom to get the power from the Doom bots and the Patriot. His Doom bots are now on fire, kind of cool, and it's a 3-play, so you don't really have to worry about the curve issue and what to do there. So I got to give my shout out to that. Anything else on the card, bud?
That's good for me, man. I'm excited for it. I'm just excited for another general archetype to be entering Snap because I think that's what we need right now. Honestly, we need more general archetypes to have fun with.
Alrighty, Alex. With February comes honoring the new movie coming out, the new Captain America, and listen, Rivals kind of started the trend of seeing some characters. Not that this is a reused character, but we have a Captain America. Now we have Sam Wilson's Captain America, and with it comes essentially equipment, something that me and you have been talking about since the very first Snapchat, and it is so cool to see them bring it. I really hope other characters get it. I hope it's a way to bring in buffs to other characters. It would be a lot of fun. Captain America here is going to be a 2-cost 3-power card, and he is going to add Captain's Shield to a random location, and ongoing, you're able to move the shield. Now, Cap's shield has an ongoing that it cannot be destroyed, and you're going to give Cap +2 power when this moves to Cap's location, which is crazy because you can move it. That's ongoing. You can move that shield over and over. So this brings some moving stuff with synergy, but also just a really cool plug-and-play card that works with Captain America.
The thing that I thought about was that, I feel like this must have been a year and a half ago. We were talking about Captain America needing a buff. And I think it was you or I, well, obviously, we're the ones here, but one of us had said that it would have been cool if Captain America could throw his shield and it would debuff or bounce around or something, because the mobility of the shield is super cool. Kind of reminds me of the line in the movie where Spider-Man's like, that shield does not obey the law of physics or whatever he says, right? Yep. And it doesn't at all. But I like the idea of the shield moving being a core component. I'm excited for it. I did see some people kind of down on the idea that they were reusing characters, right?
No, I think it's cool.
I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. There's so much complexity to the Marvel universe to the point where sometimes I do this thing where I'll open a premium mystery variant or something, and instead of we do hero or villain on stream for gambling and stuff like that with the points and stuff. And some heroes, it's like is Vegeta, for instance, not an example of Marvel, but is Vegeta a hero or a villain? It's so hard to answer that question. You know what I mean?
There's so many of those in Marvel too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is such a different Cap. So if they were gonna do Captain America, the World War whatever edition, that to me is a lot different than a different take on the character. This is gonna be cool, man. I'm excited for this. And with it, of course, Sam he has to have his trusty Red Wing as well, and so that card's also coming a 1/2. So we got a 1-cost 2 power card on reveal. Return one of your other 1 cost cards here to your hand to give it +2 power. So let's kind of talk about all this together. Cap Shield is obviously 1 cost. You're able to kind of boost up that shield if you take it back to your hand, and then you can continue to move it around. It's just a cool, in general, synergy stuff going on, and you get the free token card as well. So, man, I think this is a tremendous card. Not Red Wing, but Sam Wilson.
I think it's great. I think it's really cool. I think that they tried to kind of push themselves design-wise here. I appreciate that. The only thing I had this thought of last time they did that, Kitty Pryde almost broke the game, so hopefully they don't break it with the shield or anything like that, or Red Wing. But ultimately, I came away impressed. I like the design space they're utilizing here.
And I like that it can't be destroyed, right? It's Cap Shield. It can't be destroyed, I guess, unless you play Enchantress on it. So with that, we got plenty of other ones, and there's some kind of crazy ones. I want to go to one that'll be a conversation starter in Thaddeus Ross, Thunderbolt Ross, sorry. And he's a 2/2. When your opponent ends a turn with unspent energy, draw a card with 10 or more power. What a wild concept and card. And I think it's perfect, man. I saw that, and sometimes I read text like there's one coming up where I'm like, okay. But this is crazy.
I think that this card I think it's coming out because I'm still convinced that Bruce Banner is probably going to be better than most people are. I think that generally speaking, everyone thinks Bruce Banner is going to suck.
I don't know.
I think it's going to be good. I just think it's going to be fine. And this is obviously an answer to the potential reemergence of High Evo. So I'm in for it. I like it.
Yeah, we've seen this and I'm not a big fan of this, where they release something and then they have the counter-ish to it, like the next thing out. It's like, okay, but this is kind of the answer to that. If that just continues to reign supreme, we've got a lot of cards that want the energy skip now, and this would be a great way. And perfect flavor build on the Hulks. I love it. Very good. And so yeah, definitely, these could change, but we'll see. But you can definitely build Dex design just to really take advantage of this, really craft it with just one card that you're looking for, and anything to guarantee a draw, but also a way to guarantee you to have a play is clearly significant, man. I think that's obviously one of the bigger things.
It is. And I was starting to think of when I saw this, I was like, okay, do you do stuff does this go in a bounce deck with a big finisher with a Red Hulk, where you try to bounce Icemen and stuff like that to try to prevent them from playing cards? I don't know. I thought it was kind of an interesting approach, with the idea of how do you force them to skip and throw energy in a way? And because not everyone's going to be playing High Evo, but if they are, obviously they're going to get punished. This is just an extension of that not High Evo, the Red Hulk style deck, or the Red Hulk style synergy.
Dude, not to derail us for a second, but February 2025, to see 2025 as a year is crazy. I feel like 2000 was 25 years ago. Everybody listening right now, oh my God, we're old. This is wild. That's so insane to see that. 24, it's okay. I accepted it. 2025, man. We're in the future now. That's what half the future shows were written into, I feel like.
I know, eh? Did you guys remember Y2K? Where everyone's back up your hard drives. It's all going down. People were zombie prepping and stuff like that just because of Y2K.
We should bring it back. Wasn't there a random year, 2011 or something, that there was supposed to be a Doomsday too? Out of nowhere. It was 2011, 2012.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I vaguely remember that. No, that was earlier.
Small circles of rumored in days, and it cracked me up. And they made a movie on it. It was an awful movie, but they made a movie.
Oh my gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. They called it something.
I think it's 2012.
Not the vanishing. What was it called? There was a word that everyone used. It was supposed to be kind of a big thing that was going to happen. People were just supposed to disappear, right? That's a movie, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm going to test Alex's beautiful Spanish skills. Alex, how about you introduce the next card here?
Joaquin Torres. I did that on purpose. Okay, would it be Joaquin Torres?
It is, man. I was really hoping that Joaquin is what you stuck with.
I did that last time with Arania, so.
Oh, fair enough. So this is going to be a 3/3, guys. And ongoing, the on-reveal abilities of your one-cost cards here happen twice. So obviously, strict synergy with A, Red Wing, and B, a lot of cards, man. That's a really pretty good ability. I see this working with A, bounce to continue to manipulate that, but also just having a new, fresh style. I like that Falcon is the 2 cost that takes them back, and this just re-triggers them. Thoughts on the card?
I think it's kind of interesting. I like it. You're right. It's like it's adding to an archetype that I think has a lot of tools already. And now that archetype's going to be combative as to like what 12 cards ultimately end up in the deck. So I do appreciate that. I do have to say though, I have no idea who this is. Like sometimes there's cards that come out, I'm like, I have never heard, and I feel like, should I know who this is? Like, how is this? No,
I'll be honest, I don't. I should, but I don't. I don't often get stumped. I don't know this one. I don't. Someone there is gonna.
Yeah, you know what I've been reading, by the way? Reading up Squirrel Girl stuff. I've been with more Rivals and stuff like that. Like I've been legit trying to read up on Squirrel Girl's like lore and stuff like that. She's so badass, man.
She's
so
cool,
funny.
Man.
It's so funny.
Her voice actor in game 2, it just nailed it, man. Like just like the comments that she makes to other characters, it just cracks me up. So obviously, I mean, we could go through all the ones here. We're gonna save it for when the cards come out, but there's multiple. I mean, think about Bounce, think about your Icemans, whatever. That you could just completely abuse with this guy, and it's an ongoing card. So you could just do this again. I mean, not like you'd play the line, but you could do Mr. Torres with a Mystique into, whatever on 4, which would be exactly 4 costs. And then you could play, what would that be, a 4x Iceman? It seems kind of crazy to me.
Yeah, and then you play Thaddeus and then start drawing cards. You play your crossbones.
But yes. And Hood into like 4 demons is also kind of on the wild side. What else is on the wild side is our next card in. It looks like a half WWE star, half magician, half street performer, who's, of course, he's just completely yoked beyond all reason. He's got to work on the forearms a little bit. This guy right here, he is a 1/2, and he is going to, when a card moves, you're going to follow it and gain +2 power. Now, for a 1-cost card, that is crazy. It's once per turn, but it's like a little addition to Scream here and giving, obviously, that deck another tool. This, you know what this card does? It puts Kingpin behind the shed, and it completely, he was begging for life. This ends Kingpin.
It's just way more power. It's just it is a lot of power. I like it a lot. We've seen it so many times before. Very high scaling 1-drops, right? This is the one I think though doesn't make it as a 1/2. I bet you this comes out as a 1/1 minimum.
Yeah, it seems a little too good to be true. There's always one that you look back on and you're like, I don't know if this will make it. But yeah, it definitely obviously synergy with plenty of cards. And what's cool too about it is, again, it's a 1/2, but with it, when a card moves, so it's yours or the opponent's. So there's a lot of ways to work this into move decks too, which is crazy. The guy's gonna have a lot of synergy, and I think he's a huge addition to those styles of decks. No question. Like as a 1-drop, most in particular, that's what makes them so interesting to me. But we've got Diamondback up next, a 3/3, and Diamondback ongoing. Enemy cards here afflicted with negative power have an additional -2 power. Perfect Curve into the Man-Thing decks. Perfect Curve into those Affliction, the Steel decks. All of those to really amplify it. Interesting. What do you think?
I think it's a really cool Hazmat card. Like, honestly, if you think about it, you could junk the opponent's side of the location, play Diamondback, and then just destroy that location with something like a Hazmat. I think it's interesting. Power-wise, again, this seems like it's reaching high. Like, I wonder about this because, like, that's a lot of stat drop for a 3/3. Like, is 3 the new 10 power card? Like, I don't know, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I know. It's like just Cyclops, just Cassandra Nova, just Rocket and Groot coming out. Like, there's so many Affliction cards at this point. And then, yeah, Hazmat alone makes this card completely crazy. Getting up to what? Yeah, 11 power? Okay.
Yeah, it's when you account for Hazmat doing -1 as well. Like, it's -3 across the board for each card. Like, what are we doing right now?
What are we doing with Diamondback? I guess they feel like it's going to be less consistent than we think, but I don't know, man. It looks crazy. We end on a card that we don't know how it's coming, but I don't know, man. Cobra. You know what Cobra does, Alex?
No.
It's not exciting. You can only play this at a location where your opponent has exactly 1 card.
I actually have never seen this card. I don't know where it came from.
Look at this.
This is one of the ones that snuck in as like one of the free releases. Yeah. I saw every one except this one. I have no idea what this is.
3/6, bro. Okay, 3/6. So like we just mentioned a card that could be like a 3/11 and change. This is a 3/6 that you can only play at a location where your opponent has 1 card. So he's got the restriction, and you get 1 power point. What do you think about Cobra?
It doesn't sound great. It doesn't sound terrible. There's likely an opportunity for you to play this. There's usually a spot with only 1 card. You could even force it, maybe. You could maybe force it.
I would never put this in my deck. This, to me, wait for it, sounds like a free card right here. This is definitely coming into game mode. They're going to give this one to everybody. No question.
This is the high voltage Series 4 card?
Yeah,
because it sounds absolute poo.
Oh, absolutely. Series dropped in like 1 drop. Yeah. Cobra, unfortunately, is what we'll end on here to take the wind out of your sails a little bit because he is not great, man. I don't know. 3-6.
What's this asshat even wearing? Look at him.
He looks
like a complete moron.
Yeah, he looks like he's wearing a Halloween costume, but he got it from like he went the cheap route. You know, he went with a little bit of DIY with a little bit of quick party city. It's pretty bad. All right, buddy, let's go ahead and recap and finish off with the OTA, our supersized OTA that we had. And I like I like the supersized ones. Brings a lot of change. Before we jump into the cards themselves, did you think it was a very impactful one? What were your overall thoughts on the OTA?
I thought it was impactful. They went after a lot of stuff. I think the one I kind of want to start with, we got to talk about Cerebro too, but Airsham. I think that them nerfing Airsham the way they did was kind of interesting because I feel like Airsham, like I had these like mixed thoughts about it. Obviously, I'm like everyone else. I get annoyed with Airsham every once in a while. Like it grinds on you a little bit. It was representing about 14% of the meta at the time of the nerf. That doesn't sound like a problematic number to me. Like it was prevalent, but it wasn't like mind numbing. Like, you know what I mean? The only problem was that in an era where it's harder to get cards, we've talked about that at length, Airsham kind of felt like a bastion for new players and for players that weren't collection complete, where, you know, you could build a decent Airsham deck with pretty much alt tech cards and like actually be relatively competitive for the most part. And they nerfed the original Loki, which was also an incredibly high value, like new player card type thing. You get rid of the Airsham, which obviously they changed Loki because of the Airsham, right? Impact. And then now it's like, well, what are they supposed to play? You know what I mean? It's like, so that kind of came to my mind a little bit, but yeah, I thought the changes were impactful, and I think they nerfed and they buffed the appropriate cards. I just wonder if they went a little too hard on Airsham. It changed too much. Like if people are spending 6k tokens on cards or keys on cards, and I don't think that their identity should shift as much as Airsham has.
Yeah, and also, like, I wish they would have leaned more into the random play and just, like, kept the energy, randomized the whole deck, man. Like, that, to me, is cool. It's fun. It's, like, if people are playing it for fun, they get to do that. It's less competitive, definitely, but it's definitely more fun. Or, again, we've talked about, increase that limit. But, yeah, it definitely slows down the engine of Airsham massively. That was definitely a lot of the comments on the OTA video I did. And then Cerebro, probably the other massive change, right? We got a 2-cost Cerebro now. Definitely a big difference, man. Being able to play this guy a little bit cheaper. Now, as an archetype in itself, there's so many hurdles that you have to painstakingly go through playing Cerebro. But they became a little less painful with the 2-cost now.
Honestly, it's that additional energy discount is huge. Like, you would invest in even like a Ravona, but C2 hasn't been a thing in a while. It's been like, do you know when Cerebro was at its best? When Miss Marvel was a 4-5. That was like C5 was a legitimate deck, could legitimately win games. And then they kept shifting things around. Shadow King moved back and forth and screwed up Cerebro. Luke Cage was moving back and forth and screwing up Cerebro. Like, there's certain cards you kind of really need in Cerebro. And so, like, yeah, like it's never going to be a meta dominator. And if it is, it's like one minor change away from not. So, like, I feel like this is the kind of card you can take a risk on. Like, I don't think anyone's out here crying about Cerebro taking over the meta.
100%. And, like, I feel like, when you take away, like, key cornerstones, like Storm, like, man, that ruined Cerebro too. It hurt so bad. But definitely, like, it was probably my favorite buff of the whole patch. Now, we had little buffs. We talked about Enchantress getting a power point. We talked about, we did not, but Frigga, we actually mentioned, can she be a 3-4? Last Snapchat, and here we are 3-4 as well. And in turn, a once huge infamous Beta Ray build lover, Alex Coccia. What do you think about the hammer buff?
Buddy, I don't mind it at all. I kind of liked what they did because they could have given more power to Beta Ray, but instead giving it to the hammer, what I think it does is, okay, so we have the new changes to Lockjaw, which I still think, I'm going to say it again, I think Lockjaw needs to be reconsidered as a card. I'm going to go back to the well and a suggestion I made prior. Please second in or steal this idea. Lockjaw should be a 3-power whatever, and every time he rotates something out, he gets -1. Because in the lore, he gets tired when he teleports people.
Yeah,
so every single time he swaps something, give him a -1, and that kind of is like the way you can kind of mitigate that. I'd like to change though, because this also makes it, you can play it into the Lockjaw, get the value, King Eitri, whatever, or you can still do the Odin lines, right? I like it. I think this is a cool change.
We talked about that with Electro too being like a cheaper card, but with a negative. I like that. I like the stuff that can cheat, but it comes with this negative effect. It's really cool. Like, I get you can only play one card with Electro, but like the negative power with cheat balances it out a lot more, and it kind of is risk for the reward. I like that. But yeah, I'm not playing a ton more King Eitri over here. Did you ever get him, or is he gone?
I did get him. It was so funny because there was like corners of the internet that were like, because of course, right? We're on the Snapchat. We're just talking, and I joke about not getting King Eitri. That turns into Alex is actually incapable of getting King Eitri. Like, I don't have the skill in a mode that's free to play. That really, even if you lose, like, you just have to win 1% of your games to actually unlock it. And so, like, yeah, I did get King Eitri just for the sake of it because you kind of roasted me enough. I was like, okay, I'll get it. I got it. Haven't really played it, I'll be honest with you. But when this got buffed, I actually threw it in a deck and started playing a little bit. And he sucks.
Yeah, no surprise there. At least you have them all now. You have all the cards now. So
got them all. Got to catch them all, buddy.
All right, so Typhoid Mary now does -2 to all the cards in your ongoing lane. Obviously, that's a pretty big, man, that's a pretty big impact on that card. Like, you know, weighing against some of the other 10s that you were playing with. Kind of nasty.
It is nasty, man. But like, you know what? Like, this whole deck, I feel like needed like something. It needed something, and finally it got a little bit of something, right? And so like, again, we've said it a million times. We need more archetypes in Marvel Snap. We need more cards and more just overall variety, and at least this does that. You know what I mean? Yeah,
for sure, man. And it looks like they buffed a lot of those, like Shuri, Lockjaw, all these kind of like cards that enable some play. And then we also had Elsa. The free card that everyone will get for the holiday this month and get a buff as well because, well, Galacta did what she did well. Do you feel like Elsa now can stand a little bit higher with Galacta, or it's still just not even close?
I wouldn't play Elsa, no.
Yep, I know.
Would you?
No, I would not, most likely. Well, dude, that's the OTA. So, again, it was like a bigger one, but a lot of small power points, and then obviously Cerebro, and then them taking care of Arishem before the holidays. Kind of hopeful that we would have gotten the Thanos stuff. They teased it like now almost like a month plus ago, and I want to see what they have in store for whatever that might be with the stones, I think is what they teased on. But we'll have to see. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed this episode of the Snapchat. We want to just say thank you guys for watching, staying with us now for 2 years. It's been a fun one. It's been a good one. Over on Alex's side, we're going to be talking about Peni Parker and her thoughts on her cards that suck in Marvel Snap in the Snapchat mailbag. Have a good one. Have a great one. Till the next one. Happy snapping.